The coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrance? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning, everybody. Ladies, put them boots up. It's not time. It's not cold enough. Y'all get a little wind. And you want to pull them suede boots. Put them up. Put them boots up. Anyway, good morning, everybody. And to everybody, a good morning. Do me a favor. Invite somebody. Share. Tell them coffee time is on. I'm going to dive right in because I have a 9:30 appointment. It takes about 30 minutes because I don't know what the traffic is going to be like to get there. So I'm going to be leaving here at 9 o'clock. So that means I need some time to get it in. We're talking about the value of a good woman, the value of a good woman. Now I'm going to say some stuff as usual. Hopefully it makes you think. You don't get mad at me. The value of a good woman. You know, I do believe in dating. I believe I've had a change of conviction for the longest. And I need you all to help me out because I'm on the edge of changing my conviction in how this dating thing goes. I really am. A lot of it has more to do with some of the things that I've seen. So I need your help. I need you all to help me out. Help me with my conviction. Help me get this right. Stephanie Brooks, good morning. Chanel Bracey, good morning. Andrea Mitchell, good morning. Y'all do me a favor. Invite somebody. Share. Go Broncos. Yeah. So I need you to help me out. Okay. I don't want y'all to be mad at me, but I've got to, wait a minute. Is that right? No, that's not right. You got to help me with this. I don't think, and I want to say this because let me start out by saying that God was so serious about giving Adam a gift until he waited until everything was completed before he brought the woman to the man. Before he brought the woman to the man. Now, what does that have to do with a woman's worth? It has everything to do with her worth. I believe that a woman is a gift. I believe that she should be treated high. She should be treated right. She should be respected. I believe when it comes to the order of life, it's God, your call and purpose, and right on the side of your call and your purpose, I believe, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective, just in case you couldn't tell, I'm all man. But I believe it should be your woman, your wife. I don't believe that anyone should be closer to you than your wife. I believe that she reserves a spot has been reserved for her, not only physically and emotionally, but psychologically. There are some arenas in our mind that have been reserved for her and her alone. So I do not believe that men should have friends closer than his wife. Now, I know the average woman, and I'm getting ready to make a big circle. It especially in church, you compare yourself to a Proverbs 31 woman. And I'm going to go there because I want you to know that Proverbs 31 is not the mirror standard of what a woman should be. Oh, yeah, it's getting ready to get ugly. It is not the standard. It is not the guidelines of what a woman should be. And a lot of times what we've done to women is we've used the resume of this woman in Proverbs 31. And when a woman doesn't measure up to that, she falls or sinks in low self-esteem, or she feels like something's wrong with her. And it's only because, Proverbs 30. It's only because she's not supposed to be her anyway. No, it's Proverbs 31. I said it right. Why y'all do that to me? Verse 10, Proverbs 31. Y'all invite somebody to share. It's about to go down. It says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of a husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do good. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. First of all, if you understand what maidens are, this cannot be the standard for what women should be, because how many of you have maidens? How many of you have servants? How many of you even have a housekeeper? That can't be the standard. I'm getting ready to get deeper. Okay. Now, I do like the work ethic. I do believe that the Proverbs 31 woman has work ethics that should be measured, by women. Especially the part that says she get up at night. All right. I like verse 11 that says, the heart of a husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She takes care. She takes care of that man. Lord have mercy. Y'all invite somebody to share. All right. She takes care of that man. So there are qualities about the Proverbs 31 woman that I think women can glean from, but the Proverbs 31 woman is not the standard of what a woman should be. And we're going to get more into that because we're talking about the value of a woman. I love this part, verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field and buyeth it. She's a businesswoman. With the fruit of her hands, she planteth a vineyard. Now she went out, she bought the field. Then she began to make the field produce for her by planting a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. She was in the gym. She was in the gym. Okay. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. She has a benevolent heart. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it and delivereth girdles unto the merchants. This woman was about her business. You understand? She had multiple streams of income. She had people working for her and she had maidens. Let me take this off because I'm getting hot. Oh, yeah. You need to tag a lady and tell her to tune in to coffee time. You do. She openeth her mouth. No. Strength and honor are her clothing. That's how she's viewed. And she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She's not emotional, ladies. She has emotional intelligence. She's mastered discipline. She doesn't move based on how she feels. I want to stop right there. One of the things that make the value of a woman go up is her ability to manage herself and speak wisdom. There are a lot of women that have wisdom. They do. But they don't have emotional discipline so that the wisdom can flourish. We can't hear the wisdom because we have to contend with the emotions. And one of the things that we all need to learn is emotional intelligence. You can't just move how you feel. You can't just move based on how things appear. Because I can promise you, your appearance of a thing does not make it be what it appears to be. And this woman wasn't moved with emotions. This woman was moved with wisdom. Wisdom says, give it time. If you give anything time, you'll be able to properly assess it and properly judge it. But if you move based on your emotions, you're going to mismanage, you're going to misjudge, and you're going to mishandle not only things, but people and relationships, and you're going to lose more than you have to gain, and your value goes down. Why does your value go down? So if there is no one there to appreciate your worth, what good is your worth? It doesn't mean you're not valuable. It just means you can't be honored, because everybody that God has sent to honor you, to build you, to lift you, to empower you, you run them away. Lord have mercy. You run them away because you've not taken the time to really look in your own heart and see the root of why you are the way that you are. Why do you feel the way that you do? Why do you respond the way that you do? Why do you demand from others the way that you do? What is your why behind what you do? If you can ever discover your why, you'll be able to fix what's wrong. You can't fix what's wrong, and you don't believe you have a problem. But if you've fallen out with everybody, there's a problem there. And it's not because people are crazy. It's because you've not developed the discipline to deal with the dysfunction in others to the point that you can mature beyond what they do, see who they are, and properly handle that relationship. It requires maturity. So ladies, your value is not predicated on the opinion of others, but being able to honor your value and your worth comes from others. But if you run others away, how can they praise you and they have no room to lift their hands? So one of the things, one of the things that we have to do is we have to develop emotional intelligence. You can't just say what you want because that's how you feel. And then you say, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it 100 for you. I'm going to keep it 100. This is just how I feel. Your feelings can be reckless, especially when it comes to relationship. Wisdom doesn't move based on feelings. Knowledge is what you know. Knowledge is accumulated information. Knowledge is what you've learned. Wisdom is proper distribution of what you know. And that is what causes your value to go up. I'm a man, and I know what men look for. We do. There's a study, and I tend to agree with the study. There's a study that says a woman is looking for her father, and a man is looking for his mother. Now, when we start talking about a man looking for his mother, we're not talking about mama's boys. No, it's how a man views his mother. It's how he honor and value his mother. And even if a man didn't have a good mother, he has an innate ability to desire the goodness that a mother brings, because it's how God created us. Same thing for a woman. Even if she didn't have a father, there's a longing there for a healthy and whole man. And there's an area in her life that only her father can fill. So a woman is looking for her father, and a man is looking for his mother. There's a wisdom. There's a wisdom that women have. There's a knowing that women have. And I'm not talking about broken women or broken men. I'm talking about a whole woman has wisdom. You know, when it comes to my mom and my grandmothers, maternal and paternal, you're not gonna, whatever you say is not gonna, it's not gonna pass the echo that they have in my head. Because generally, when I'm dealing with women and my great grandmother, or my maternal great grandmother, because I had a real good relationship with all these women. So what you say to me is not going to take up residence in me if it doesn't resemble what I've already experienced. Well, what type of woman have I experienced? Praying women, women of faith, women that knew how to speak, but speak in love, women who were not reckless with words, and women who were not conniving, deceptive. You can hide a whole lot behind a smile. But in the same way, a woman has intuition or discernment. Men have it too. And a man can discern. Sometimes we're slow with it, but you give it some time. A man can discern the position that you're in and what you're looking for and what you're seeking. He can. So the value of a woman is predicated on maturity. It's predicated on wisdom. Let's go back to Proverbs 31. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Meaning she doesn't just sit around and gossip and do things without purpose. There's a lot that we can learn from the Proverbs 31 woman, but the Proverbs 31 woman is not the standard of what a woman should be. The likeness of this woman, I believe in some ways, is the standard for what women should be. But every woman cannot be this woman because she doesn't have the capacity. And whenever you try and stretch a person beyond their capacity of how they're built and how they're wired, you're going to pull them into a place of being what they were not created to be. Verse 28. Her children arise up and called her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So the reason I'm telling you that that is not the standard of what a woman should be, even though her characteristics are awesome, awe-inspiring, even though the characteristics of the Proverb 31 woman is greatly admired, it's not the standard of who a woman should be, because that Proverbs 31 woman was written by a woman. Proverbs 31 is a letter written by a mother to her son who was a king. And because he was king, there was a certain type of woman that he needed to wed. So the mama pulled out a pen and some paper and wrote Proverbs 31. Hey, this is the type of woman you should be looking for. I'm going to say it again. Proverbs 31 was written by a woman. Her son was the king, and she is writing a descriptive narrative to her son on the type of woman that he needs to be married to. Everybody don't have the capacity to be the Proverbs 31. She had multiple businesses and still had time to cook. She was well disciplined. And in her discipline, she could very well, Kate Press, good morning. In her discipline, she could see clearly. Now that I've established what a woman should be, what a woman shouldn't be, I'm getting ready to help y'all. It's getting ready to get ugly. Paul said, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor with the Lord. But Paul is continuing a conversation. Matter of fact, let's go there so I can show it to you, because I don't think y'all gonna like what I'm getting ready to say. I just feel like you're not. I think it's Proverbs 18. I believe it's 20. It's 20 something. I'll find it. There it is. It's 2022. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. That is a proverb. Let's keep going. The poor useth entreaties, but the rich answereth roughly. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly. And there is a friend, hallelujah, that sticketh closer than a brother. Now, it's this whole entire proverb is talking about words. It's talking about words and the influence that words have. In fact, we talked about this a few days ago. Before Proverbs 18:22, there's 18:21 that says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor with the Lord. And verse 24 says, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly. Let me help y'all out. Let me help y'all out. Paul didn't say that. That's a proverb. Here's the other thing. And I want your comments. If we're going to understand anything, we always have to go back to the beginning. You don't mirror brokenness. You mirror or shadow that which is whole. Don't show me the man after he's fallen and tell me that is the model. Because if you do that, sin is necessary. No. Show me the correct position and posture of man before the fall. And that is the man that we should model. Would y'all agree with that? I'm waiting for an answer. We have to model what's whole. Who were Adam and Eve before the fall? Do y'all agree? Y'all agree with that? That we're not supposed to model anything in its broken state. We have to model what's whole, right? You don't model a broken woman. You don't model a broken man. The value of a woman is not contingent on her brokenness. Her value rests in how well she handles it. So we model what's whole. We model what's whole. If we're going to understand the correct functionality of how things exist, we must go back to the start before it was introduced to brokenness. When a woman gets healed, she's healthy, she's psychologically stable, and she has put the work in. That woman becomes a model of who our little girls should be and become. But you can't put a woman who's broken. Prostitution is her source. She's getting money, but she's getting it the wrong way. She's getting it at the expense of degrading her value by opening herself up to anyone for money. That is not the model of what a good woman should be. Now, does that woman have worth? She does. Can we see it? We cannot. Why? Because her worth and her value is being hid behind her brokenness. It's not until she rises up and say, this is not the way. The same mentality that I had to make this work, I can make something else work that is wholesome and morally good, so that I can be a better presentation to those that are coming behind me and leave a legacy of wholeness. It's not until she walks into that place that she should be modeled. But the goods for a high value is always there. Same thing with men. Now, we're talking about the value of a woman, so excuse me if I lay my hat there, but it's the same thing with men. You don't want your sons to become the image of the brokenness that we see in men, where promiscuity becomes their bread, egotisticalness and haughtiness becomes their shadow. That's not what you want your sons to mirror. You want your sons to mirror a gentleman, a man that believes that chivalry is not dead, a man that opens doors, a man that takes the woman out on dates, a man that treats a woman like a gift that she is. But in order for the man to treat her like she's a gift, she has to know that she is a gift by putting in the work to become perfect. That word perfect in scripture means maturity. She has to know herself. I hear a lot about the childish behavior of men And I agree. But I don't necessarily think that it's scriptural. Hear me close. I won't say it that way. Let me say it this way. When it comes to a woman being pursued by a man, she has to be in the position of maturity in order to attract maturity. And if we go back to the way God did things in the garden, God brought the woman to the man. He didn't go looking for her. He didn't chase her. I knew it was going to get tight. Because something in our society has made us believe that a woman should be pursued. That pursuit is not one way. In the same way that God brought the woman to the man was whole and healthy by pursuing the vision and the God and the vision, the God and the purpose that God placed in him. He was in the act. He was active at doing what God called him to do. And I believe this with all my heart. When a man is doing the will of God, the woman he's supposed to be with will show up. I don't believe men ought to be out with binoculars just looking, trying to find, as if she's lost. I believe a healthy man will attract a healthy woman. Now listen, your value, you have, every woman and every man have a scent that they cannot explain. There's this aura about you. Now, let me tell you what the makeup, let me give you the ingredients of this aura, this scent, this thing that you carry. We call it presence. Maturity can be seen without words. In most cases, the more a person say, the less they believe they are. This is why they have to explain. Silence is golden because actions speak. Whenever a woman throws herself in front of a man, she makes herself look desperate. Whenever a woman goes to doing too much, she makes herself look thirsty, and it diminishes her value in the eyes of the beholder. Tina White McPherson, good morning. If you want a man to see you, cherish you, and value you, you have to take a hold of whatever your purpose is and pursue it with all your gut, to the point that you can't get it off your mind. There is something that happens in the spirit realm when a woman is about her purpose. Teresa Lockett, good morning. Something happens. There's a shifting. There's an aroma that follows a man when he is pursuing his purpose. You know, people say all the time that men with power are attractive. Yeah, but no. It's not so much the power that they have. It's the mentality, the psychology that caused them to pursue and fulfill where they are. Women are attracted to a level of men who are determined. There's a fierce fight that is innate in a whole man that women love. When a man is sure of himself, when a man has counted the cost and done the things that are necessary to build himself, he does not compromise to anything. He doesn't. When a woman has put in the time of making sure she's good, she's handled her business, she's taking care of her family, there is an aroma that follows her that will cause the man to pursue her. And it's in the man's pursuit that she picks up his aroma and gets his attention as he has her attention, and they begin to pursue each other. Ladies, let me help you out. When you find a good man, you better stop playing hard to get. You're not the only good woman out there. I tell the brothers all the time, you find you're a good woman, you better stick with her. The aroma that she carries has the ability to connect you to a higher level of purpose. She will shift you in a different dimension of thought. Everything that we do, every action that we make, every move that we make is the fruit of thought. A righteous woman has pure motives. A righteous, a right standing woman wants what's best for her man. And a righteous woman has taken the time to connect with God in such a way she don't have to chase the man. She can be presented to him. How does the presentation go? The man could be minding his own business, completing his purpose, and all of a sudden he looks up and she's there. But it takes God to disturb the heart of a man for him to notice the woman, but he will only notice her when she's fulfilling her purpose. Let me give you this. Because we live in a society where we live in a capitalistic society. Capitalism, basically, it says that there's a ranking, meaning there's high level income, which is the higher class or upper class. There's the mid range. Mid range is the middle class, and then there's the lower class, right? The high class believe that they're supposed to have people working under them. The high class believe that they're supposed to have a greater piece of the pie. Now, this ranking is not necessarily done based on anything other, really, than ego. People feel like they're better than others based on how much money they make, right? So because there's ranking in our society, people place us where they believe we belong based on what they think we have. I'm coming to get you. Stay right there. Don't. I'm almost done. You are ranked based on your presentation. You're ranked based on how much money you make. You're ranked based on your ability to filter thought. Your psychological awareness, how you process. You're ranked based on that. You're ranked based on degrees. And none of that stuff it doesn't have really anything to do with your purpose. But if you invest in those things, it will help you with your purpose. How many books do you read a month? I can tell in a conversation where a person is. I can. Because you study and you read, do you apply? Because that is the other end. That's the other end of faith. Faith begins with believing. It begins with having hope. Hope causes us to believe, but whatever we believe, we put action to. How much have you invested in yourself to be called a high value woman? And this is not me tearing down anyone, but it is making some corrections, because there are many women that believe they should be pursued and they should receive a certain tier of man, but they have not invested in themselves what they are requesting. It's hypocritical. When God brought the woman to the man, he pulled the woman out of the man. So what was in him is in her. You generally pick what's on your level. You pick what's in you. All of us see through the filters of self first. When a thought is generated, it's processed in our mind. And my ability to have a broad perspective gives others a better chance of grace with me, because I won't put them in one category because I've been exposed to more. But to someone who's not had the ability to see more, experience more, or view more, people fall within a certain category and they're left there. There are many women who call themselves high value. And this ain't no Kevin Samuels, because I didn't believe in his message. I do believe he said some things that were true, but I thought his overall message was disrespectful. I did. I really did. But there were some things that we could learn from that. Your value is what people are willing to pay for you. Your worth is what you consider to be yourself. So, for instance, I have a necklace, and at the end of the necklace, there's a wedding band. That wedding band belonged to my grandmother. Well, it is of no value to anybody. It's 14 karat gold. You get a few $100 for it, maybe close to $1,000. But it's worth more to me because of how I value it. But it's not valuable to our world. Come here. Your value is how people see you. Your worth is how you see you. When we go to buy clothes, they put a price on it. That price doesn't determine its worth. Its worth is predicated on the ingredients. What did it cost to put this together? So you can't say what your value is and you've not done the work to create worth. If you want to attract a man of substance, it doesn't begin with what you say, because you can make your mouth fried chicken. It begins with, are you doing the work on you? The value of a woman can only be determined by the work, W-O-R-K, she has done in herself. Her work determines her worth. Her worth determines her value. You can say all day what kind of woman you are. Have you put in the work to become that woman? Or are you measuring your worth based on society standards? If you are basing it on society standards, let me tell you what's getting paid. Let me tell you who's getting paid. City girls. Because a person's popular, that doesn't make them valuable. Because a person is famous, that doesn't make them valuable. Because a person has money, that doesn't make them valuable. Most times we confuse a person's worth with their occupation, with their popularity. And that's dangerous. Because what's popular ain't worth nothing. The cosmetic industry is a billion-dollar industry. And you let them tell you how you're supposed to look. You let them determine your worth. So you go out and you have surgery on your buttocks. You have surgery on your breast because you're trying to keep up with the culture. Now, if you choose to do that, it's your body, it's your money. You can do whatever you want, but that's not going to make you more valuable. You can get more attention, but it doesn't change your worth. What you invest in your head and your heart determines your value. Can you complete a sentence without splitting a verb? Can you articulate how you feel? Where when others hear it, they can receive it and respect it. Do you have a good working knowledge of the English language? Articulation is important. Words matter. Or are you the type person that say things and say, well, you know what I mean? No, we know what you said. Because your words become the resume that represents who you are. Have you put the work in? Have you managed yourself? Have you perfected yourself? Have you perfected your gift? Have you practiced? Have you been challenged to become better? Or do you leave when someone challenges you to become better? See, if you exit the stage when a challenge is there, you will only become as good as you've always been. You will never become better. You don't get the opportunity to be the barometer of your own worth. And you should know your worth. But your worth is measured, and that determines your value. It's measured. Are you respected? I never forget when I was in high school, there were women who were fine, who were beautiful. But we had no respect for them because we know what they did. Then there were women who were not so fine, not so beautiful, that we had the highest respect for. Why? Because of their morality and their psyche. You've got to invest in your head as well as your heart. It's not in Gucci. You can wear Gucci and still be cheap. You can have on Prada and still be worthless. See, the reason black people spend more is because we become less. So we have to dress this thing up to show people we're somebody. How about having a conversation? How about facilitating a thought or an idea or an expression to the point where it challenges the rest of us to think beyond where we are and think what we could possibly be? How about empowering someone to become more? That's your true worth. That's your true value. Are you affecting humanity in a way that causes us to move beyond where we are and embrace what we have not been and challenge us to become greater? You can talk all day about how valuable you are, what kind of woman you are. But it's getting ready to get ugly. But you cheat when you got to take a side view and put it on Facebook. When you have to show your backside on Facebook, cheat. And I'm not talking about someone who maybe weighed a certain amount and they are proud of their accomplishment. They're in the gym, they lost weight, so they're showing. That ain't what I'm talking about. Your value can't be in your shape. Pick it. It can't be in your look. Now, y'all, hold on.